So the landscaping on the layout includes this raised area towards the end, which I've constructed out of polystyrene. I wanted to feature a trench on the layout, which the trains run into, and provides a perfect sort of break in the scenery to allow the train to pass through the back scene. I've then built this around an artillery battery, which forms the centre piece of the layout, before it gradually fades down into this little road which fades off into the distance with a number of military vehicles, including the Mark IV tank there. And then we have this lovely sort of wooded area, which also provides the other scenic break where the trains go also into the back scene at the other end. Most people's idea of trees during the First World War were completely desolate trees with no leaves and branches, a bit like what I've got up on the end by the trenches. But being set in the Battle of Amiens, quite a lot of the battle was fought on virgin land, as it was such a fast-paced battle. And I wanted to try and capture this and show and explain to people some different scenes of the Great War, which I've researched. My name is Callum Wilcox, and this is my World War I trench railway, Amiens 1918. So the layout came about when I wanted to combine my two interests, which is model railways and military history. With the recent flood of 009 items to the market, including a lot of World War I rolling stock, it seemed the perfect time, especially tying in with the 100th anniversary of the end of the Great War, to get round to building such a layout. So the military vehicles are a mixture of kit-built models and a couple of off-the-shelf models that have been painted up. So the off-the-shelf models include this little bus here, along with the little traction engine. The rest of the vehicles are all built by kits from a number of leading plastic kit manufacturers. And trying to find these kits in the correct scale was a bit of a challenge in itself, but again, it added to the enjoyment of this layout, was trying to find the difficult to find items. The most difficult item to find was actually the artillery gun, which forms the centrepiece, and that is actually a 3D print that was created by someone that actually lives not far from me, and I came across his stand at a show. I just happened to see a tank on his stand, and I started inquiring about the tank. And then he pointed out these artillery guns, and I've been looking for one for about 3 months. So finding that item was like the jewel in the crown sort of thing. So that formed the centrepiece of the layout. The vehicles themselves, once they were painted up and assembled, they were then weathered using the same material which I've used for the mud, which is brown wood filler. So I used sort of a dry wash. I put a bit of water in, and then I washed the vehicles down with the same mud effect that I'd used for actually the layout itself. The tracks, while the mud was still wet on the layout, I then dragged each vehicle through the mud to create their tracks to show where they had been to, or give a feel of what route they were taking. It's been great to see the number of ready-to-run items that have been coming to the market recently, and this has really aided, and in fact, one of the reasons why I got into doing 009 in the first place. Some of the real pulls for this scale that I found is you can get a lot into a small space. This layout itself is 4 foot by 2 foot. And as you can see, I've got a full overall on here with fiddle yard, and there's plenty of room for details and stuff like that. Items I found pretty much compatible with each other. The rolling stock is a mixture of Batman and mini trains. All are perfectly compatible with each other, and they run really nicely and make a nice pairing.